seriously one of the easiest keto meals you will ever have. It's called a bomblet, which is basically a cheese omelet. You're gonna line the bottom of a non-stick skillet with some shredded cheese. Let it come to a bubble and then crack 2 eggs right on top. You can do 3, you can do 4, however many you want. And cover that baby and turn the heat down. The cheese will be nice and crispy. And then you're just gonna fold it right over and slide it onto your plate. I like to sprinkle everything with chili.
You're gonna love these tater tots. Look at my face, oh my god. So we're gonna grate 2 zucchinis and a grater, put them in a paper towel, take out all that moisture. Then we're gonna add an egg, some onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and oregano into that. Then some Parmesan cheese and breadcrumb, and just give that a good mix. And we're gonna mold them like a tater tot. Pop them in an air fryer, 400 degrees for 12 minutes. Look at that. Oh my god, so good.
Ooh, would you believe that this is low calorie or low calorie-ish? Because this ain't lasagna. This is eggplant parm. And the most important part of this dish is getting the eggplant right. So you want to run it through a dredge, through an egg wash, then some seasoned breadcrumbs and parm, and toss it in some oil. And this is the key to getting the eggplant parm right. You want to get it nice and crispy, because this essentially is your meat now. Now you layer it in your pan, and it's time for the cheese. Some freshly grated mozzarella, some pecorino romano, which is saltier and bitier than parm, and then our sweet nutty parm. We want to layer this 3 or 4 times until it fills up the pan. Now we're not going to put cheese on the top yet, because we want this sauce to cook down and get brown. Just like this. This really brings out a lot of character in your sauce. Now we can pull it out, and we're going to top it with some fresh mozzarella, some freshly grated parm. Then we put it back into the broiler until it looks like this. Now I added some freshly chopped basil because I'm a fancy lad, but here you go. Beautiful, delicious eggplant parm that would make you forget you ever cared about meat.
Creamy lemon chicken, olives, and artichokes. Sear your chicken breast and remove to a plate. Sauté garlic and red pepper flakes. Pour in the creamy lemon sauce and scrape up all the yummy brown bits on the bottom of the pan. Add the chicken and cook until cooked through, then add artichokes, olives, capers, lemon zest, and chives. Pour the sauce over the chicken and enjoy.
Can you make chicken and dumplings? Michael, of course. I take a whole rotisserie chicken. I remove the bones. Next, I dice the chicken and I set it aside. Next, I get 2 cans of Pillsbury Grand's buttermilk biscuits. Next, I spread them on the cookie sheet and I cut them into 4s. And then I cut that 4 in half, and then I cut it in half again, and you'll have 8, and you keep them separated. Now set those aside. Next, I pour 32 ounces of chicken broth into a pot. 1 can of cream of chicken soup. 1½ cup of milk. I whisk until the cream of chicken is dissolved. I add 1/2 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Bring the mixture to a boil and add 1/2 stick of butter. Once the butter melts, I drop in the biscuits. Once all the biscuits have been added, reduce your heat to low. Add the chicken in and cook covered for 20 minutes.
We made a ribeye steak in the air fryer. You want to see what we did? All I did was take a steak, put some sea salt or some Himalayan salt on it, a little bit of garlic, and I cooked it at 400 degrees for about 10 minutes. Then I flipped it, and I put asparagus in with it.
And avocado.
So I flipped it, kept it at 400 degrees, put the asparagus, threw some garlic on there with some butter. I put some little chunks of butter on it, air fried it for another 10 minutes, cut it open. It was so pretty red for me. So then I cooked it for a little bit longer, and I just cut it open. The air fryer is phenomenal. Look at. And then I love avocado. So if you don't love avocado, you should learn to love it. So we have air fryer steak with an avocado and asparagus. Easy. Done in like 25 minutes.
Scallops are one of my favorite seafoods. I used to order them at restaurants all the time and never knew how to cook them. It's so easy. I'm going to show you guys how to make perfect seared scallops in less than 15 minutes. Start off by drying them off and inspecting them. Most of them are going to have this little muscle attached to them, but it pulls right off. Lay them out flat and then coat them in some oil and seasonings. I'm keeping it super simple, just Old Bay, salt and pepper, but garlic powder, lemon pepper work really well here too. I'm going to get a nonstick pan super hot, sear the side that I seasoned for about 45 seconds, While that side is searing, I'm going to season the other side and then flip them over. Cook them for another 45 seconds, transfer them to a plate, and get started on the sauce. I'm going to melt some butter with some minced garlic and lemon juice. I'm going to cook that together until the garlic is nice and fragrant, and then I'm going to top it over my scallops. If you guys make this, be sure to tag me and hit that follow button.
Keto copycat Chick-fil-A chicken tenders. Let me show you how. Marinate 1 pound of chicken tenders in pickle juice overnight. For your dry batter, 4 tablespoons Parmesan cheese, 4 tablespoons ground pork rinds, 2 tablespoons ground flax meal, salt and pepper to taste. Coat your chicken tenders in melted butter first, then coat them in the dry ingredients. Then air fry on 400 for about 10 minutes till they look like this. Hit the plus and drop chicken for more quick and easy keto ideas.
It's your keto girl. So this dish will blow your mind. It's flourless. I've been missing cheese bread, and this is close to the real thing. And it only has 1 gram of net carbs per slice. First, preheat your oven 425. Add 4 cups of fresh riced cauliflower, half a cup of Tex-Mex cheese, half a cup of Parmesan cheese, 1 egg, half a tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of marinara sauce. Add any herb spice you like. Added parsley and Parmesan herbs, salt and pepper, then mix this baby. As you can see, it's becoming a mousse-like texture. Get a baking pan with a silicone mat. Add your beautiful mixture on the pan, shape it in a rectangular form, and bake for 10 to 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, yes, you're gonna add an extra cup of shredded cheese. Put it back in the oven for, I would say, 5 minutes, or until your cheese is completely melted. Look at how beautiful this turned out. Slice it like breadsticks. It comes out to about 12 breadsticks. Make sure to wait until it cools down so it can harden a bit.
My 11-year-old daughter is keto, and here's exactly what she asked for lunch today. I'm making her some bacon. I just threw the entire pack in the air fryer. We use lower sodium bacon because it does not have sugar in it. We then add a little bit of salt back in, and then I also put some everything but the bagel seasoning on it. I didn't know what kind she wanted, so I didn't add it before I put it in there. She also asked for some strawberries. These are already cleaned and washed. We wash them with vinegar and water to kill all the mold spores so that they last longer. She also asked for some pepperoni and some cheese. So I'm giving her some Tillamook. That is our favorite. And her bacon is done. This is exactly what she asked for, and it's exactly what she got.
Hey guys, you are going to absolutely love this keto-friendly BLT. That's right, it is no bread required. So you're going to start with thick slices of bacon, and then you're just going to weave it up on a rack and bake it at 400 degrees for 30 minutes or until you get to your desired crispiness. Pat the bacon to absorb some of the grease, and then put mayonnaise on it with chopped lettuce and tomatoes. From there, just roll it up. You guys, this is incredible. And it's stored well for the next day in the refrigerator. For more recipe inspiration, you guys, come find us on Facebook, Team Terry Keto, or teamterryketo.com, and follow us on here.
I was in the park the other day and saw a whole bunch of families having barbecues and parties. As I looked around, I realized everyone had a can of soda in their hands. We need to step our drink game up. Blueberry lavender spritz. I think they're called spritzes, I'm not really sure, but whatever. Steep your lavender tea for no more than 2 minutes. It'll start to get bitter after that. Mash or puree some blueberries. Once the tea is done, bring that and the blueberry puree to a boil, and then let it simmer to reduce down. You can skip this step, but this is where a lot of the flavor and sweetness is going to come out. Just let it keep going until you get a nice thick, almost syrup consistency. I'm going to let it cool in the fridge for a little bit. Now mix that blueberry lavender essence with a squeeze of lemon and some carbonated water. You shouldn't need to add any sweetness. Oh, I almost forgot to make it fancy for you. You're going to waste some lavender and sprinkle it on top. And if you're not already following, you should, because I'm about to start dropping.
Looking for an easy keto lunch? Try these tuna melts. They're super easy, low carb, and I'm gonna show you how. So good. Come on. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Lay your provolone slices out onto parchment paper. Then you're going to mix and mash your tuna and mayonnaise together. I use about a tablespoon of mayonnaise. You don't want to use too much because you want it to be a little bit dry. The edges of the provolone slices should look like this, just browned enough but not burnt. Set the cookie sheet aside and let it cool just enough for you to be able to put your tuna onto each slice of cooked cheese. When the cheese is cool enough to touch, you're going to fold over each slice of cheese and press down to cover up the tuna. You're going to place these back into the broiler for 1 to 2 more minutes. Once they come out of the oven, you're going to take a fork and just fork press the edges, just to seal them. Then you're going to place all of your tuna melts onto a paper towel just to block them dry a little bit and to cool a little bit more. These are great to have on hand in your fridge. I put them in a Tupperware with a paper towel and then just cover them. Full recipe at the